They're recording. All right, we could just
jump right into it.
just jump right into the video.
We are recording. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. It is not football season yet.
It's not yet. Okay.
Hello, philosophers. Welcome to another exciting episode. This is Mitch, and I'm back in the studio today.
Yes, no remote this week.
No remote, in person, because,
It was on your way home.
it was, yeah.
Mhm.
Now, to be honest, I did go home first and then come back. But,
Oh.
yeah, coming up from Orange County.
Okay.
Driving up the old 57. And then
traffic.
hung a right, just went home, and then decided to come back here.
All right.
So, yeah. I thought I was going to be finished. This is podcast gold right here, talking about my workday.
Sure.
Yeah. I thought I'd be done a lot later. But, just went home, played some video games, came back.
No, there you
Minecraft, if you were wondering.
go. Yeah, that's right. I forgot your Minecraft.
Yeah, it's good. I should start a podcast for Minecraft.
I don't think anyone's done that yet.
YouTube channels just for Minecraft.
I don't think I've seen it yet.
Yeah. Especially a guy in his 30s. Hey, what's up, guys? This is Mitch, or what would my Minecraft YouTube channel name be? Mitchcraft. This is Mitchcraft 69 420. Today we're talking oak tree farms. Now I know what you're thinking. No,
I know what you're thinking. No.
I ran out of bit.
Like they don't like oak tree farms in Minecraft.
It's a pain. Oak tree farming is hard because if you don't put a block limiting the height and it's a random generation of tree, it's going to randomly spawn the big oak trees, and it's really hard to cut down. So it's a pain in the dick. You got to really put like a roof, or even what I usually do is put glass panes at a certain level, so that way the oak tree doesn't grow to beyond a certain point.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's our our Minecraft advice for Mitch
Yeah.
for the day.
I tell you what, generators and Minecraft, I got you.
There you go.
It's good stuff.
Okay. So Mitch, you were telling me about a commercial.
Oh yeah. So
Segue.
we I have a great episode not brought to you by. So we segue. No, the wife and I went to an Airbnb, and they had cable, like actual TV, so we could
Mhm.
watch TV with commercials and shit. The downside is, the good side is I saw a lot of content for this episode not brought to you by. So this one, I'll just I showed Mike the commercial before, but I'll explain it to you again, just to kind of.
Do we want to reenact the?
Well, if I miss anything, let me know. So I'm not going to say right away what the product is. I'm just going to describe the commercial first. So it opens with a couple standing next to a car at a gas station. They look like they're on vacation. They're all on their way somewhere, and it opens with the matriarch, the what appeared to be presenting herself as female,
Okay.
bringing up the conversation. Says, hey Gene, I'm tired. We got to get rid of the beard.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy, whose name is also Gene, it was kind of a bit. They're both named Gene. Gene, the guy, pokes his head out, and he's got this big beard coming down. You can tell this guy probably has like an office job, kind of a white collar,
He doesn't look like he needs a beard.
suburban kind of. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it looks like
He's
he
one of those
drives.
guys.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he normally has a beard. And he says, "What? And he says, I thought you liked the beard." She's like, "Oh, I did, but it's all the grooming. It's the hair, the beard." Shampoo, the butter, the conditioner, and all that. And he's like, it's essential, whatever. And he's got this comb that he's combing his beard with. Although this is just a shot, B shot of the couple standing next to this car. She's bitching about the beard. He's like, no, the beard stays. And he has like a comb, and she grabs the comb and throws it. And he pulls another comb out of his pocket, and he continues to brush it. And it ends with, the beard stays, Gene. The beard stays. And then fade out to a establishing shot, background, back shot. And then the product comes in. 76 station. Gas stations. 76 gas stations. I
think it said, we're here for the driver, or we're here for the
journey, or some dumb shit like that. It was like nothing to do with the commercial at all. It made no sense.
I feel like 76 doesn't even sell beard products.
Yeah, if you're out there and you work for 76, let us know, because what they were the fact that they were at a gas station. If I went to a gas station and I saw this conversation, I would not go back to that gas station.
Yeah. I mean, my thing. So there are I've been to even just in my travels, Chevrons or Shells or Arcos that are kind of big. Like if it's especially in tourist spots.
Yeah.
and they might have like products for hair
Yeah.
because you're in a traveling area. 76, I feel like, is the same shitty gas station no matter where you go. I haven't seen like a nice 76.
Yeah, like
So I could tell if they were trying, or I could understand. I'm sorry, if they were trying to say like, hey, we carry beard butter in our gas stations now.
They didn't even look that in.
That's
like,
what I mean. But they didn't even say like we sell this stuff now, or
yeah. Or for all those crazy needs, or for all those,
Yeah.
or what? There was nothing to do with the gas station. There was nothing to do with why that place, why a gas station, and why 76 stations.
Mhm,
And
yeah.
it was completely not. It was like it felt like a a senior project dialogue class that they workshopped not even a senior project. It was like if you're in a screenwriting class and you have to submit
Very student filmy.
yeah, and you just have to submit a 2-page dialogue, and that was it. And okay, let's sell it to 76. 76 bought it. Really? Okay. Wow.
Well, I remember one time, Mitch, I brought up a commercial, and you said that maybe it was just meta, and it was meant to not be understood.
Meta? You mean meta?
I always say meta.
You said meta?
I always say meta a lot.
Meta.
Because I think beta.
Oh, okay. Maybe.
Meta. But I remember I brought up a McDonald's commercial about
Yes.
two high guys, and
Yes.
somebody said that I just didn't understand it because
Yes,
the
that was
humor,
me. That was me.
humor was just.
Somebody. That was me.
I know.
I said that.
I'm being passive aggressive.
Oh, God.
So maybe the humor is just beyond our understanding, and that's
Maybe.
the beard.
You know
humor.
what I did think as we were talking about it? What if it was part of a series of random conversations and they're, this couple that randomly stops at 76 stations? But I don't know. I mean,
No, that is a dumb commercial. And it makes so as somebody with a beard, I'm tired of people with beards. Anyway, because like that guy was a caricature
right
of these people, but like there are those guys like my beard is. The rule is if like I can grab it like a handful, it's too long.
Oh, okay.
But there's some of these people who just they grow like the guy in the commercial. It was like down to his fucking nipples.
It was cartoonish.
Yeah, like that's just ridiculous.
It was very obviously fake too. It's like that
Yeah.
thin, kind of just a bad.
But there are those guys who are like, oh yeah, I got my beard butter.
Yeah.
And, I remember there was a guy one time. Where was I? It wasn't my bar. It was somewhere else. Where like a guy had his comb out at his table, combing his beard. And don't get me wrong, a beard comb feels pretty nice. If you ever had someone like give you a scalp massage,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it feels nice when you comb it. But like, bro,
yeah, that's weird.
yeah, beard culture is getting out of hand.
Changed my mind. Sorry, should have muted. Yeah, I mean, so yeah, it bugged
It's a dumb
me.
commercial.
It bugged me. It was a dumb commercial. So hey, if you're ever getting gas and you pull off and you see a 76 or an Arco, pick the Arco because that was a bad commercial.
Because those are two cheap gas stations, but at least Arco
Yeah.
doesn't put out trash television.
That I know of. I mean, if you know any, for sure.
Arco
but-
commercials.
if I'm in a bad mood and see your commercial, you're getting it. I tell you what. But yeah. So yeah, that was my episode not brought to you by. But
It's a bummer too, because I'm sure there's some nice 76 stations that wouldn't put up with that shit, but they don't have a choice. It's all corporate.
but who? I want to meet that guy that greenlit that said, yeah, that was a good idea.
How many you got? There's been commercials, songs, movies that like someone went, okay, yeah, this is the one.
Yeah.
Like I remember, do you recall the song by what's that bitch's name? Nicki Minaj.
I was gonna guess Nicki Minaj.
Yeah, Nicki
and
Minaj.
as a joke.
The Anaconda.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That song is atrocious.
I've never heard the whole thing.
It's retarded.
Okay.
It samples obviously "Baby Got Back,"
right.
and it's just not a good song.
Okay.
The music video is worth a watch.
Oh, okay. Kind of like
on mute.
This Is America, the Childish Gambino song.
Kind of. I liked at least that song was like for a purpose.
Original.
Whether or not you agree with it, at least it had like a point behind it.
Oh, okay.
And the music. When I say so, the music video about with Gambino's song,
Yeah.
"This Is America," was supposed to like have a social impact and
Oh,
meaning.
I loved it.
The video for Nicki Minaj's Anaconda doesn't lack or it lacks that depth. I'm just saying visually, it's very appeasing.
Yeah. I hear
The
you.
song
Yeah.
itself is horrible because even you could have songs that are like sexual and it's supposed to make you feel a certain way, but
Oh,
like
yeah.
there's still an art behind it.
The subtlety, yeah. It was like a Beast of Burden by Rolling Stones. It was like one of the sexiest songs I think ever written. And it was you know, it was cool, man.
It was a good song.
It was a good song.
Like you could watch porno, but there's bad porn.
Oh yeah.
Like this.
It's all bad. That's why I don't watch it. But yeah, no, I know what you mean.
You mean bad quality
exactly
or
what you mean.
But yeah, so at some point being is that when that song was written, Anaconda, somewhere someone checked off on it.
Yeah.
And so
and enough that people were like, let's put a bunch of money into this.
Yes.
And
that's where the 76 commercial at some point, somewhere down the line, someone it went up enough polls where the final person was like, this is the one.
Did they focus group it?
Yeah.
I liked how his beard was just not too dark. I didn't like her shirt. Can we change her shirt? You know, and
otherwise, I thought it was great. What was being advertised? Doesn't matter. Goodbye.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. I mean, there's so many things that dialogue could have applied to that would have been better. Like on those, the like grooming products. Like I can't believe that a grooming, there's everyone's going through that like barbershop, like rough man kind of thing. You know, he's got tattoos and beards and he wears suspenders. And he cuts hair, and he sells his own brand of beard butterbeard or something like that. And you know, he needs a commercial that like easily could have been, you know, I can't believe that guy doesn't have enough money to pay for that, but 76 Station does.
Yeah,
Weird.
And even like that commercial could have been, forget the beard, it's like him having a soda. And she's like, you're not supposed to drink soda anymore, slushies anymore. And he's like, yeah, but it's only $1 or $2. And she's like, no, you can't. We don't drink soda anymore. And he's like, and it comes with a free refill. I'm gonna go get a free refill. Babe, you can't do that. And then he has a key. He's like, you gonna stop me?
7-Eleven. That'd have been or
76.
76 has like their deal. Yeah.
They all have their slushies.
Yeah. But anyway. Yeah. Moving on. We had an idea, you and I, a while back. I just now thought of this.
Sure.
Not bragging. That we wanted to do an honest play review of local theater.
Yes.
I actually recently went and saw a show last weekend and be happy to review it, but you didn't see it, so I guess
we could talk about it.
It was a show called Our Town, and
I, having not seen it with you last week, I'm sure I could keep up with the conversation.
So it was Our Town at South Coast Repertory.
Well, that doesn't count then. That's a professional.
It was. It's awesome.
Still Our Town.
It was awesome.
Oh, it was good.
Awesome. It was awesome. It was awesome. And yeah, it made me like kind of if you ever have anyone listening that likes theater and they go see enough community shows of Romeo and Juliet, no offense, or Taming of the Shrew, or you know any of those, you know, The Foreigner. What are some other go-tos?
I think Shakespeare and community theater has immunity because I think people who know Shakespeare know that it could be done very well.
Yeah.
So when you see like a bad high school production or community theater production, it's not like you're like, oh, this is one of those.
It's like, hey, they're doing.
Yeah, but you're right. The Foreigner, Our Town.
Our Town is one.
Grease.
Crimes of the Heart is, I've seen that one done a lot.
Yeah.
All My Sons. I don't know why there's so many plays being written that feature predominantly male leads. Because if anyone has done any research in local community theater, there aren't a lot of dudes. You need to write more female lead shows.
So them trying to bring in the dudes. And not to mention I think because the reason why they picked those two is that they're classics and they're safe.
Yeah.
And as a community theater, you don't want to push the envelope.
Right. And you want people to come see familiar shows like, oh, Our Town, that's a good show. Go see it. Or Foreigner or whatever and all that. But the problem is, it drives.
Problem is, Our Town's not a good.
It's a good strategy to drive people that don't normally go see shows that are like, you know, I think I've heard of that. But the problem is 90% of audiences are either family or other theater people and have seen all the shows. So anyway.
But this is a good Our Town.
So this is South Coast Repertory. It's a professional theater. My wife works there. And I probably just blacklisted her.
Your wife, Carrie.
Yes. She's Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
No, she works in the costume department, and she got filled in, and so she made a lot of the costumes in the show. She's not actually working the show, but she made a lot of costumes for the show. So we got to go see it as an actual, like one of the preview performances, not the actual performance. And oh my God, it was so good. They had it one thing I'll say more than anything, all the actors were stellar. The direction was awesome. It was done without any weird choices or whatever. They stuck to the script of, you know,
Okay.
minimalist set and all that kind of stuff. The guys, SCR is most famous for their annual Christmas Carol that they put on every year.
Okay, yeah.
And the guy that just retired this last year, he did Scrooge every year for like 100 years or something. He's like, you know, famous for it. And like, you know, he's does it every year and everyone loves him. He doesn't do Scrooge anymore, but he played the stage manager in our town.
So
So
this is the narrator guy.
yeah.
Okay.
The old guy kind of, and it was great. Ironically, he was probably the weakest. I'm not saying he was weak, but
Someone has to be the weakest, yeah.
of all the actors. He was kind of,
Interesting.
it was really good. And, you know, I cried at one point because they did a great little artistic choice that I really loved. It at the end when Emily, if you haven't seen it, stop listening. But if you have seen it, the third act, Emily is dead.
Yes.
And she has a chance to go back and relive a simple day. So the whole play up till now is done all minimalistic. You know, they have actors doing the sound effects on stage, like practical sound effects is really kind of cool. When she goes back, they wheel on a real set and real props and have real, like, you know, audio soundtrack. So when she goes in to relive a day, it's realer than it was before.
Interesting.
Really good. And I'm bawling and all that, but yeah, it was good. Another thing, just the MVP of the whole show is truly the script. It is an amazing script. I know it's been overdone and it gets beaten into the ground, but if you ever see it through like good actors and like put on a good show, you realize just how good the script is.
It's just making me laugh because we've trashed our town.
Yeah.
Off and on the air.
I know this. Yeah.
All right. All right.
I'm eating crow, man. I'm telling you, I loved it.
No, and that's a perfect example we've talked about, I'm not sure on or off the air, of a good script or a bad script can also be good or bad depending on the director, the actor, the place.
I think it's because the whole script is a collection of vignettes put together into one story and little soliloquies put into one story. It really is a collection of Americana put into.
Yeah, now that I think about it, maybe it's been so overdone by high schools and community theaters because of the minimalist set. They don't have to have a budget.
Yeah.
To make a set.
Yeah.
Because I've seen it twice. Once when I was in high school, at my high school, and that was I think that was the first not professional play I've seen. I think before that I only saw like one. I think I saw The Producers.
Okay.
In LA. So it was like the first play I watched as like a teenager, and I was like, this is the most excruciating thing I've ever. That was even before I got into theater.
It drags, man. It drags.
Yeah.
It seriously drags, and you better have a stellar cast if you want to put that show on.
If granted, professional theater side, if I was hired to direct it at some community college or community theater, I would say, can we do the auditions first, then determine what play we do?
Oh, interesting.
Because if
see what your body, the cast.
Yeah, if you don't have a cast that's going to really light that shit up, like you don't want to go into our town with a shit cast.
It wasn't until I was a senior in high school that my drama teacher confided, saying, he's like, oh yeah, we pick plays the summer before based on the talent we have in the drama classes and who we have.
And you know what? I think it's harder to do with community theaters, depending on how tight knit the community is. But I do know at both the community college I went to and the university, they would, to a degree, do the same thing. They know that. So, for instance, I went to UNLV. A lot of their graduate student actors get preferable treatment.
Yeah.
And so they would pick plays depending on their grad class. So they only take like 10 at a time for like 3 years. And so when I first got there was one grad class that had like, now that I think about it, I think no black people. And then they graduated, and the next class came in, and they had like 3 or 4. And then one of the professors who was black was like, now we can do August Wilson. But she was stoked. She's like, okay, now we can do it.
Yeah.
Because the worst thing you'd want to do is like, let's do August Wilson and just paint all these white people black.
Yeah.
Because that would be unfortunate.
Or, Othello. We could finally do Othello. But
did you hear about Patrick Stewart when he did Othello?
No.
So I guess Othello is like one of his all-time favorite characters, because obviously Patrick Stewart's like big Shakespearean guy.
Sure.
But
you mean Picard from Star Trek, for those of you who don't
know. Or Professor X.
Is it Stewart? No, Patrick Stewart. Yeah, Patrick Stewart.
I always Patrick Stewart and Patrick Wilson are the two that I always
You get those? Yeah.
because
Okay.
it's Patrick's.
Yeah. No, Patrick Stewart.
Patrick
is
Stewart.
the Scottish actor.
Yes. So, but Othello has always been like apparently his favorite Shakespearean character is Othello. It's
He is Scottish, right?
English or Scottish. I think
One
he's
of
English. I think he's English.
Okay.
Something weird.
Something weird.
So this is a decade or two ago. He really wanted to do. He's like, I want to be Othello. That's my favorite character. So they did it wasn't on Broadway. I don't think it might have been in Washington. Anyway, so he played Othello, and they cast everyone else black.
Oh, brilliant!
And they made it instead of making it about a black person adapting to white society like a lot of people do. They made it about a black society, and Othello was white in it.
Wow.
Because that was his favorite character of all time, was Othello, and it's Patrick fucking Stewart.
It's like, what are you gonna do?
So we're gonna make it happen.
Yeah. Robert Downey Jr. couldn't do it.
No.
So they.
So they cast everyone black.
That's pretty good.
And then made him the white Othello.
I like that.
Yeah, it was interesting.
That's pretty cool.
Obviously didn't see it, but I read about it.
Yeah, we can't afford that shit. Yeah, but no, Our Town at South Coast Repertory. Go see it. It's pretty good. It's one that it's one of those I saw it this last Saturday, and I went to work Monday and I saw my parents and I was like, okay, I know. Okay, I've been in Our Town twice. That means they had to sit through that shit at least twice. Mm-hmm. And ironically, I'd never seen the show before. Never seen Our Town.
You've been in it.
I've been in it twice and never saw it. So it was the first time actually seeing it.
Interesting.
So I went and I'm like, okay, I know it's Our Town, but it's SCR and it is an amazing.
Well, they know what they're gonna do.
Exactly, but they can't go see it because they require vaccinations.
Oh, so okay. Yeah. So you just brought up an interesting point that now I'm thinking about. I don't think I've seen a play that I've been in.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, well, Shakespeare would probably be the easiest to figure that out.
Okay, so that's the only one. Oh, no. So did I see Midsummer Night's Dream? I know I saw Romeo and Juliet. I've been in Romeo and Juliet, and then I saw it done by...
Movie doesn't count.
No. I saw it done by the youth performers of some community theater.
Nice.
And it was...
It's good. So
it was
good.
The worst fucking thing I've ever watched. It was fucking awful. What was fun? No, we'll get to that in a second. We'll talk about that one. Because I'm gonna trash it. But yeah, so I'm trying to think of the plays I've been in. Yeah, I don't think I've seen like Laramie Project. I've never actually seen that done outside of when I did it.
I've seen shows ahead of time. Like I've seen.
Yeah, even that I haven't.
I saw The Foreigner for the first time in high school. And ironically, I've only ever seen that show once. Mm-hmm. Saw it in high school, and then 5-6 years later, I was in it in community shows.
Okay, so. I saw Grease when I was in 6th grade.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then I did Grease twice later.
Yeah. Musicals and Shakespeare, it's pretty hard to dodge those. But
so that would be the musical. Shakespeare? No, just that I did Romeo and Juliet, and then within the year, they did it at a local theater with the youth group. And it was the worst fucking thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
It was. What was funny was that the director of it was trying to kind of grab a bunch of people who just did it at the community college. It was like the same year.
Yeah,
they're trying to grab a bunch of people who did it at the community college, and they actually because Eddie was a killer Friar Lawrence.
Yeah,
Lawrence,
I can see
right?
that for sure.
Killer Friar Lawrence, and
it might be something else. I don't remember.
The lead friar, Eddie was killer. And so the first she tried to get Eddie on board, and Eddie, despite his insanity, has good instincts and was just like, I'm good.
Yeah.
No,
really? Okay. I saw that writing there.
Granted, it was a youth thing, but they said like, oh no, we can like for a few roles we could bring in somebody that doesn't meet the age cutoff. Mm-hmm. And then I remember our Romeo agreed to do it, and his name was Tim. Regretted it with every bone in his body.
Yeah, I think you've told this. I think you've told me about this before, but yeah.
Yeah, it was just it was the worst thing I've ever seen.
I've been in. There are 2 shows where I've been in multiple times and played the same role. I was in Our Town. I was in Our Town twice. I played George both times, and I was in Noises Off 2 times, and I played the same role, Gary, both times. Noises Off is the only one. The other one that I saw, I was in it in high school, and then I saw another high school performance of it. Is predictable. Then I was in it again in community theater when I was in my 20s, and I saw it at South Coast Repertory. They were actually putting it on, so I got to go see that down there, and it was amazing. But
So I saw you in the Noises Off that you did, and I think I saw another one. I forgot the name of the theater.
Yeah, the one I did was rough. The
I
one
thought
did,
it was good. The one we were in, it was good.
The script is good. So
True.
No, when I did it in high school, for a high school show, it was stellar. We actually won an award for it. But when I was in it in the community show, I won't say the company or who or what, so I got deniability. But
I remember Eddie and I went and saw it together.
yeah, because there's a few people that we knew
and
from that.
Eddie auditioned for it and didn't get in.
Right.
And I remember
And he should have.
So we were watching the guy that I forgot all their names.
Yeah.
We were watching the guy he auditioned for, and
Yeah.
we kind of universally agreed he would have been better.
Eddie would have been better. It was there was like one or two other people in the show besides myself, of course, that were actually really good and were like, killing it.
Mm-hmm.
But the director of the show, not Lloyd, the director character, but the actual director that we had for Noises Off was he reminded me of a guy who was in silent film all his life and now got moved to the talkies and he's directing people how they used to do in the silent film.
Okay.
So he was very animated. Everything was over the top and whatever. And it's a British show, so it's a lot of subtlety. I mean, how ridiculous that show is.
It's very much, especially the second act when it's very physical.
Right.
But outside of that, it is very witty.
Yeah, one of his main tenets, this director's main tenets was there's no such thing as subtlety. And it was like nothing subtle. I'm like, oh God, dude, this is going to be bad. So
yeah, that reminds me, a friend of mine, DJ, I can say his name because he doesn't give a fuck. He does improv. He did improv in Orange County in LA, but one thing he told me he was working with this improv troupe, and something they were teaching was if you can't be funny, be loud.
Oh yeah.
And DJ said was like, no, because then now you're just not funny and loud.
You're just annoying.
And that's where you said like there's no such thing, or you can't be. What did you just fucking say?
No such thing as subtlety.
There's no such thing as not. No, it wasn't.
I forgot.
It was anti-subtle.
I was drunk.
It was being anti-subtle, but that's just fucking obnoxious.
Yeah. So, do you have any like pointers for theater? Any of our young theater listeners want some pointers on the,
I don't know.
Hey, if the whole cast can't do an accent perfectly, don't do an accent.
Okay. Yes.
I
will say that because that could really take you out of it.
Yeah. If you're acting drunk, don't act drunk. Act like you're not drunk.
Yeah. You know what? No, you're right. Because that's something I learned early on. Mm-hmm. Because when you try to act drunk, you look ridiculous.
You look stupid. You look like you're acting.
Yeah. Whereas what do you do when you're drunk? You're trying to act sober.
Exactly. I saw a great meme the other day. It said, "I've never pretended to be anything I'm not, except sober. I've pretended to be sober a few times."
Yeah, sure.
But
no, the accent thing though, 100% on the dot. Because even
example, go watch Valkyrie with Tom Cruise. You will see the accents being in and out, and it's god awful.
No, I disagree because in Valkyrie, they kind of did this, and I'm not saying the movie was great.
I thought it was terrible. No, I'm joking.
I thought it was okay. I'm just saying it's not great, but I liked what they did because like it starts off when he's writing the letter.
Yeah.
And so you hear the German language.
Yeah.
And then it transitions to English. So then at least it tells the viewer like
this is all should be in German.
This is supposed to be in German, but they're speaking English. So when they have like the English accent or the American accent, it didn't bother me because they had the precedent of that we're ignoring that.
Yeah, I'm just talking about how Tom Cruise's accent goes in and out. They actually why we were in the shot we were in was because they went back and refilmed a lot of stuff and they added some scenes to it. It was actually a delayed release because they filmed most of it with him doing his German accent.
Oh, I didn't know
so
that.
Bad that they
that.
reshot a bunch of reshot a bunch of scenes where he just dropped the accent entirely.
Oh, I didn't
so
know
if you
that
go
part.
back and watch it, there are occasional scenes where he still has the German accent.
Like a slight inflection or something.
Yeah, that's what I would do. Okay, yeah.
But no, I remember I watched when I was in Vegas, we were required to watch every play, obviously, that they put up. And I forgot the name of the play. It was an Irish play. I don't have to go into the details of it. I forgot what it was called, but pretty much
Father O'Callahan the whiskey.
Sure. No, there's 4 actors in it. A guy who's like a writer, who's the main character.
Shock.
Right. I think it's like his wife, his gay lover, and
great start.
I think there was one more guy. I forgot who it was. Anyway, and the main guy, who was a professor at the college, had a shit Irish accent.
Oh, no.
Everyone else did good.
Oh, no.
His was just weird.
Yeah.
And so I remember in our acting class after
Yeah.
the show closed, we talk about and I brought that up. Coming from community theater and
Yeah.
community college acting, I was like, I think one thing they should have done was just not do an Irish accent. Because
Yeah.
I said, I was like, the
If
guy,
you can't do
it
just
takes
drop
you
it.
out of it.
Yeah.
And the professor, what she said was like, yeah, but it's an Irish play. It was written to be spoken in the Irish dialect, blah, blah, blah. And I countered, I was like, yeah, but is there anything about this that needs to be specifically Irish?
Interesting. Okay.
And there wasn't. It's not like they're like, hey, we're going to Dublin. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. There's nothing specific about it. And I was like, so had they not had tried to do the Irish accent, because the lead guy can't do an Irish accent, you shouldn't do it. Unless it's you need it.
When I did Noises Off in high school, the Noises Off is a British play. It takes place in England. There's a lot of British references, words in the script that are intrinsically British. But my director at the time was one of those, like, if you can't do the accent, we're not doing the accent. And you'll just be that one person that doesn't have an accent.
Mm-hmm.
Believe me, way better than a shitty accent. So we all had pretty good English accents, except for there was a handful of dudes who couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
They decided to go with a different accent. The guy who played the director, who couldn't do an English accent, turns out he could do a pretty good Scottish accent. So he did a loud, angry Scottish guy. One of the other guys who was actually Syrian, the actor, the kid in high school was Syrian. He did like a Middle Eastern kind of accent with his role. It was pretty interesting.
Did it work?
Yeah, it worked.
Okay, if
and
it
was consistent more than anything, which is really good.
And I think that would work in that play specifically because it's a comedy one.
Mm-hmm.
And but more importantly, in England, you'd probably get that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
So,
the multicultural, whatever. Yeah.
So that's fine. But
have you ever seen The Death of Stalin? It's a movie.
No.
Go watch it. It's amazing. It's supposed to be a parody kind of about. It was made modern. It was a modern film.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Buscemi's in it.
I've
the
seen
dad
the
from Arrested
trailer.
Development. Yeah, they all stick with their native accents.
Okay.
So there's a lot of British actors in it, so they have their British accents. Steve Buscemi has this just straight American accent, and it's kind of like we know it's all Russian or whatever, but they all stick to their own accent.
And I think that's fine as long as it's consistent.
It was great.
Because even I could be remembering incorrectly, Enemy at the Gates.
Yes.
I think they just spoke in there.
Yeah, all British, whatever.
Or whatever it is, they just spoke in it, and like it was still a serious movie, and it still was taken, like, it was fine.
Chernobyl, we mentioned Chernobyl, the miniseries before.
Yes, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it takes place in Russia, obviously, but all the actors have British accents throughout the whole kind of thing. It's kind of like we just know.
It's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Now, if they were trying to do Russian accents and it was fucking dog shit, then it's like, yeah.
Yeah. I was in Pride and Prejudice Community Theater. It was a stellar show. It was great. And we all had British accents. But the problem was we all had very mixed dialects of British accent.
Perfect.
Like different regions and stuff. Like one was like a modern central London accent. One was like a, Northern England, almost Scottish accent. It was all over the place. It was really fun.
Yeah, I am one who's not good at accents. I'll just say it.
Okay.
So I think we've talked about this before. If you just told me right now, can you say a sentence as Irish?
Mm-hmm.
I would have to like really stop it. I know some people are just like go right into it.
You've told me about where you've workshopped for auditions, like you went over lines and prepared accents and stuff. Yeah, because you're just not
in
good.
my training.
Yeah,
they're like, I have a book somewhere that actually breaks down like a handful of accents, like where you could look at the script, mark it, and know how to do it.
Yeah,
but if you're just like, do it, I'd be like, fuck, I can't. So I do remember in college I had to do a scene. It was like a directing class, so the directors have to go find actors, which I think is abuse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you're a director and you just have to go like, let's say you just took a directing class and you don't know fucking anyone who acts.
Yeah.
But you have to go find actors. Like I remember in community college, I was in a directing class, but it was paired with an acting class.
Oh, interesting.
So that you could pick out actors. But yeah, this class is anyway.
Oh, I never thought about it. I never went to like
a friend of mine, she was in it, and so it was like it was an Irish play, and there's two actors who had a scene, and then my character just walked on. I had like maybe 10 lines, and then I left, and then they continued on. She's like, can you do it yet? And I sat there and I studied the shit. I still think my accent was probably dog shit. For Irish, for me, it's just like really hit those R's.
Yeah, already.
Yeah, and then there's a couple other things. But,
oh dear. Oh, me my lucky charms.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's easy.
But no, I can't. I'm not confident.
Okay. Yeah, fuck the Irish.
However, I was actually talking to somebody about it today. There are times like, even though if you told me right now, give me 2 sentences in Scottish, couldn't do it. But if I was around somebody who was speaking with a Scottish dialect, I would accidentally
start to mimic.
Accidentally.
Yeah. I've done that. I've done that.
That's
funny.
horrible.
Oh yeah.
I feel like they're gonna be like, "Are you making fun of me?"
Yeah, yeah. I did that on like the accidental
Mhm.
mimicry thing. This is one of those things that you wake up in the middle of the night in this horrible memory and you just scream yourself back to sleep.
Absolutely.
I was in Boy Scouts and one of the troop leader, he wasn't a troop leader, he was like one of the like Eagle Scouts, whatever, that was helping out with the Cub Scouts and all that shit, had a lisp. And yeah, he had a bad lisp.
Yeah.
And I was like the whole time, it was like, no, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. And finally one day it slipped and I felt horrible. He thought I was making fun of him. But
Yeah, that's
I
what
was
I'm saying. There was years ago when I was bartending, these people came in, and I won't go into the whole story of them, but like they came up like, "Yeah, can we get a Coors Light and let me get one of them little blue moons?" And then so it came time, and I was like,
no.
and then I just accidentally I was like, "All right, here's Coors Light and a blue moon." I was like, "Oh, fuck!" And he can catch on to it because they're dumb. But no, I actually told this story today to somebody, and I might have said it on here before. It's exaggerated because like at the time I wasn't thinking rationally, but like there's across the street from the school I went to. There's like in Vegas, hardcore Italian diner. Not like nice in the roses, but like Italian diner deli.
Yeah. Okay.
Like you walk in and it feels sweaty. You know what I mean? Like in a good way. In a good way.
Yeah. Good stuff.
It's like when you walk into a Mexican restaurant and it feels sweaty.
Careful.
No,
I'm joking.
It feels sweaty. The walls are stained yellow.
Yeah.
And
you just, know you're getting some
it's
good
like
food.
this is gonna be great.
It's gonna be good food.
It's not a sit down place, but so I walked into this place and I went there like somewhat like normally. But so there's a group of guys, again, this is Vegas, sitting at a table, like Hawaiian shirts, like hair coming out of the top of the shirt, like talking in that New York accent. I didn't think much about it. And then when it came my turn to like get my food, the guy's like, "Hey, what can I get for you?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll take the chicken parmesan." And I was like, "Oh no." I was like, no. And granted, in my head, it probably wasn't big. Or I'm sorry, in reality, it was probably not a big deal.
Right.
In my head, I was like, these guys over here definitely heard me.
Yeah.
And now I have to talk like this because if I don't talk like this, they're gonna know.
I'm making fun of them.
And I was like, shit.
Did you ever see that Dana Carvey movie, Master of Disguise?
No.
It came out when we were like.
I remember it, but I never saw it.
That was like his thing, is that he had a tendency to imitate people. And yeah. Good movie. It was a bad movie.
I heard it was bad. That's why I never saw it.
It's Dana Carvey. What do you want?
I think that movie was when I realized I didn't like slapstick comedy that much.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because even watching the trailer as a child, I was like, I have no interest in this.
Yeah.
I think the thing I remember was the commercial when he's like, "Turtle, turtle."
Oh yeah, turtle guy.
That shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, community theater acting.
You should be able to do a show without microphones. I'll say it. If it's a straight play, you shouldn't need microphones.
I'd agree.
Area mics. No, I mean personal microphones.
No,
you
yeah.
can do area mics and stuff like that. I mean, that's fine. But
No, I would.
If you can't project, you shouldn't be in theater.
If it's a normal theater, what, like 200-300 people?
Yeah.
Completely agreed. If it's like a huge theater or an outdoor amphitheater, you might need a mic.
Maybe, yeah.
But no, it's standard issue theater. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I'd agree with
They
you.
bug me. I'm like immediately turned off if I see a mic.
It's
It's dumb. Because most of the time, every time I've seen a show or been in a show with mics, something goes wrong. And it takes you out of it.
You're adding an element that now has the possibility of screwing up.
Yep.
And then, not to mention, so if you're doing a musical, there's already a unrealistic part of the musical, like people don't break down and dance and songs.
So it's suspended a bit.
So when you see the mic, you're like, I could forgive it.
I get it. Yep.
But if I agree. If you're
Straight play, really, you need a mic? Come on.
Yeah, I agree with that completely.
It's stupid. It's stupid and it's lazy.
Like I said, unless it's one of those giant ass theaters,
Right?
Then maybe.
I worked at a company for a while, theater company, that their venue that they used was converted from a high school gym, and they built a stage into it. This was Candlelight Pavilion.
Okay.
That venue. But this company that worked at that venue always did straight plays. Well, at least the ones I was in anyway. They might have done musicals. I wasn't in this. So it doesn't matter.
Okay.
As far as I'm concerned, they only did straight theater. And they gave them mics, and it was always terrible.
Is this the theater company that has 4 letters?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, there's several letters, but their acronym, yes, has 4 letters. But
Well, yeah. Yes.
I know what you mean. I'm being a smart ass. I'm sorry. But yeah, no, they always used mics, and I always had a problem with it.
And that venue's not that big.
It isn't that big. That was their justification. That's where I was going with it. Sorry. But it was a converted gymnasium, so it wasn't built for acoustics or whatever. That was the thing they claimed. But if you sat in the farthest seat, which no one did because they never sold out, but if you sat in the farthest seat, you'd still be able to hear it.
because I've performed there once, and I went and saw a show there once, and
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Which one was it?
No, you were in it. It was Father of the Bride.
Oh yeah, shit. Okay, yeah, sorry.
A show that should not be performed live. I think it was a movie first. It was.
I don't know about that actually. I know about the Steve Martin, but I don't know. I think it was a good show. It was a good show, just a bad production.
Maybe.
Anyway,
maybe I just know. I love the movie.
Oh yeah,
it's one of my favorite movies. But just watching it, I just kind of was like, there's certain elements of the movie that you can't just put on stage. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. Anyway, but no, that space, you don't need fucking mics.
Yeah. So
there's no reason to have mics.
Get good without mics, and if you see mics, fight.
Hands on sight.
It's always like I was always that guy. Like, do we really need mics? And the directors of this production staff is always like, well, not everyone can project. I'm like, they shouldn't be in theater, whatever.
And that's the problem with community theater.
Yeah.
Now it's not like you're professional actors. These are just people.
Still though, I mean, yeah.
No, and that's the problem when you're talking about mics, accents, etc. There's some things that you do have to cater to the lowest common denominator, unfortunately.
Yeah, maybe. I disagree. No, it's
I do think the projecting thing. Well, so I forgot who I was talking. This is sometime in the last year or so. Projection, I think, comes naturally when we talk about it. Mm-hmm. But then when you talk to a civilian, someone who doesn't do theater about it,
yeah,
they don't understand it.
Yeah,
because even early on, I did The Odd Couple. I forgot. I think my character's name was. I forgot my fucking character's name.
The Odd Couple. Were you the even?
No, maybe. No, I wasn't the main two. I was one of his buddies, who was a cop.
Buddy, the cop,
and one of the
cool cop.
Cool cop.
Was he a bad cop? Or was he
you don't really
cop?
know.
Oh, okay.
You just see him come into the apartment and play poker. But anyway, one of the other guys who played a buddy, there's like 4 buddies. His training was mainly on camera, and so it was like pulling at teeth to get him to project.
Oh yeah.
And it was the note he got after every rehearsal.
Louder.
And it was just he didn't. I'm not even insulting him or being condescending. It just wasn't something
right
that he was programmed.
Yeah, I mean
with.
that's like basic. It should be day one thing for people. If you want to get into theater, you got to get out of your head that you're actually talking with someone. You got to, because you're doing everything on stage that is not normal. You're cheating to the audience. You're projecting. Yeah. Everything about you is manufactured, and then you have to make that manufacturing look natural. That's the craft.
And in that regard too. One of the worst things I've seen is when you try to get somebody to project and they just start yelling.
Yes. Yeah.
It's comical.
Yeah. I've seen that in musicals more than
musicals, yeah. What's another trope for theater in general, but community theater that what I always liked was I think this is more if it's in college, depending, it's a little more acceptable. In community theater, just completely ridiculous. Casting outrage.
Getting mad at not getting a part? Is that what you mean? Okay.
Casting outrage. The reason why I say it's different in college is because in college, it's like you're part of this community.
Sure.
And so there could be, there's inherent bias anywhere. But there could be a reason, like at the university I went to, like there was legitimate once or twice where it was like, yo, this is some bullshit. What the fuck?
Yeah.
But generally speaking, like if I've auditioned for parts and didn't get them, and I think we talked about I was offered parts before that I didn't want, and I just kind of was like, okay, cool,
yeah, get over it.
I'm not going to go into the gist of it, but I remember when I did Romeo and Juliet, there was a big controversy in the casting, which myself was a part of, and I kind of stated my opinion on it, and then some choices were made, choices that I didn't agree with, but at the end of the day, I was like, this is the director's choice, not mine.
Yeah.
And I just went with it. Cool.
Casting outrage. Don't, calm down. It's not your vision. The director's making a vision here and he's going, they're going with it. Tip. If you're in a show and you're in rehearsals, during rehearsal and you say a line, find a different way to say the line every time.
Yeah.
It's painful. It keeps a sense of, reality for it, like the illusion of the first time, but find a different way to say a line every time. Don't say it the same way.
And part of that too, I think, something I was told was, don't memorize your lines, know them by heart.
Huh. Interesting.
The difference being,
Yeah.
what you're saying, if you memorize them, you're going to say it the same way every
Right,
time.
right.
But if you know it by heart, you can, adding to your point, you can now take that line and change it and mold it
Interesting. I
as
like
you
that.
go.
I like that. Yeah,
Um,
pretty good. Get wasted before shows. Just do it. Just do it.
I drank during a show, Rocky Horror Picture Show.
During a performance?
Yeah.
Nice. I've never drank before.
Well, no, the play is just called the Rocky Horror Show. The film is called the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, okay.
But no, we drank regularly.
Awesome.
Backstage.
Awesome.
But so no, I did want to say tell a story about casting outrage.
And that's our time. Thank you guys for
it was very interesting. So I had just graduated from the university in Vegas.
Where?
I lived in Vegas for a while. Did you know that? But so I came down and I hadn't really done any acting in maybe about a year. And the community college I went to, they were doing One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Mm-hmm.
And so the director's kind of a friend of mine, and I was talking to her, and I was like, would you mind? I'm not a student anymore, but if I came and auditioned and been a part of it, it'd be great to just get, warmed up into it again. She's like, yeah, that'd be great. So it was kind of funny. I was like, I'm now the older guy. Granted, I was still only 24. But I was like, I'm the older guy. There's all a bunch of 18, 19, 20-year-olds, and no one knows who I am because, community college theater, everyone knows each other. And I went in there, and I kind of, even sitting, and I know you were more in a community college theater than college theater, but similar thing. Like, if you know the players.
Yeah.
When you go to an audition.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm in the room. I don't really know anyone. I think I knew one guy. And I could just tell, I was like, all right, this guy over here, he's the guy. He's the top dog right there.
You recognize them.
I
When
just,
everyone knows them and they're all talking.
just the energy.
They just go
like,
like,
that's the guy. That's the guy.
That was me, motherfucker. That was me every time.
Yeah. No.
One time I told my story to my wife and she got pissed off. One time I'm a tall, not ugly white male auditioning for straight theater. I'm gonna get a part. And it's 10 to 1, 10 girls to every one dude that auditions for a show. It's ridiculous. Yes. So I went into an audition once for something, and it was Shakespeare, so I knew I was going to get a part. Mm-hmm. I knew the director; they knew I knew my stuff, so I knew it was a done deal. I didn't even have to audition. They, in fact, even texted me like, "You could have just come to the callbacks. You're fine." I was like, "Yeah, but I like auditioning."
Was this Midsummer Night's Dream?
I think so. The one at
that's where we met.
IVRT. Yeah. No, not for
Okay.
It was at another one for IVRT, and the director. I knew the director and all. Anyway, went in. And I had my resume, and my resume was purely my professional resume, my work resume,
like
my generator tech and all that kind of
Nice.
shit. It was nothing to do with theater at all. Had my headshot on the back, but my resume was just all shit that had nothing to do with theater. And
Perfect.
I gave that in there. I'm like, you fucker. I'm like, yeah, give me my part, bitch. I don't care. I told that to my wife. She's like, I hate you so much. It's so.
Well, I was going to counter you because I remember when the Midsummer Night's Dream that we met during that audition, there was actually a lot of dudes.
That's true. That's true.
The difference was a lot of these dudes don't know how to do Shakespeare.
Oh, okay.
So that's because I knew about like 5 or 6 of them that didn't even make it.
Yeah.
And when they were doing their auditions, I was like,
oh, dude, that sucks.
So I'm in the room in the lobby, and I talked to the guy I know a little bit, and I'm talking to him because he knows all these people. And I'm like, that guy's the guy. Okay, we're chatting. And so we do the audition, and Kelly's the director's name. She had this callback, and she's notorious for calling like everyone back. Because to her, it's an educational process. Everyone should.
She's a professor.
Yes. Okay. So it was like excruciating. Everyone got a callback. Yeah. It was like, oh. And so I read, and I thought I did pretty well. And I read 2 or 3 times for McMurphy, the main part. I think I read once for a doctor and something else. And some time passed, a couple days, and I didn't want to go up there because I didn't want to just go to the college to check the cast list. So a friend of mine I was like, hey, can you just text me and tell me if I got a part?
Yeah.
But I don't want to fucking go up there. So I guess you had to they wanted you to like sign to say that you saw it.
Yeah.
And I was like, you just tell me you're on fucking campus anyway. Can you just text me and tell me if I'm on there?
Nice.
So she texted me. She's like, yeah, you're on the list. I was like, dope. So I go up there to like sign the shit, and I'm looking over it, and I got McMurphy, the lead. It was probably the only time I was like the lead. I was like, dope, cool. And I'm just looking over it. Obviously, not a lot of names I know. It's like whatever. And it turns out, and I'm not going to use any more names. The guy that remember I told you I was like, that's the alpha guy. he apparently put on his form, and this was fine if you do this. The lesson I learned. He put the only role he would accept was McMurphy.
Ooh.
I found this out later through gossip from like
Yeah.
everyone. Because going into it, we'll get that in a second. I didn't know anyone. But through gossip and all that shit, I found all this out later.
Yeah.
So, and granted, he was a taller guy. If you're familiar with that play, The Chief, have you seen the movie?
Which one?
One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Yes.
The Chief, and it's in the play, it's in the movie. He's supposed to be a really big guy.
Right. Yeah.
It's in the dialogue.
Yeah.
And this guy was tall as shit.
Yeah.
And I was
Oh,
like,
perfect.
and that character is more interesting
Mm-hmm.
than McMurphy, in my opinion. Because in the play, he's a lot more prominent than the movie. Anyway, I would have wanted to be the Chief if I wasn't fucking white as shit.
Yeah.
I would have preferred it. Anyway, so I didn't think much of it. Then like 2 days pass. A couple days pass, maybe a week. And like I said, the person I knew who was kind of in the theater club and a couple other people were like, dude, some shit went down. I guess this dude got so fucking mad
What?
that he didn't get a part. Because I guess he would only pick that part.
Yeah.
And I heard that like she wanted to cast him as something else, which like he put it on the resume or his
Yeah.
form. So she didn't cast him. And he got so mad and he like tried to get a petition together to like,
What?
and he like had a theater club meeting to like call her out.
Oh
And I
my
guess he
God.
called the meeting, but like didn't tell anyone.
Ugh.
So that when she showed up and it was like a thing, everyone was like, what the fuck? I mean, everyone was like, what? And it was like this big thing. And I remember I bumped into the director before rehearsal started at like the store. Like I said, she was kind of a friend of mine. And I was like, hey,
What happened?
if casting me was a problem, like this is not my world.
Yeah.
Like-
I don't do drama.
Like,
Sorry.
but I was like, you can, if it'll make life easier for you,
Yeah.
I'll drop out if you want to cast someone else,
Sure.
just to make life easier.
Yeah.
She was like, no, I'm not going to play that game. Like I cast you for a reason, etc. And then it was, it was really funny going into it. It's like I said, I really didn't know 90% of the cast. I knew one guy.
Yeah.
And so all these people were friends and chummy with the guy. And so the first couple of weeks, I was really like, oh.
I love it, man. Fuck that motherfuckers.
No,
I'd have gone in like just like bumping elbows with
Well,
shit.
no, so at that point, what was good is that like at that point, I'd gone through college, I had training, so like I was just professional.
Yeah.
And after a few weeks, like, and they got to know me, like I'm still friends with all of them to this day. It was just funny, like that first thing, I was like, this is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm not even in school anymore. How am I fucking?
How's there drama and drama? Yeah.
That was just a little
More-
fun story. But
More tips. Don't date anyone in the show until like a month after the show's over.
that though.
Yeah. We can get into that, but we're running late.
No, I mean we have a couple. No, that's smart because they call it showmance.
Showmance?
Showmances, where you quote unquote you fall for the person you're playing opposite of,
Ugh.
because you're around each other all the time.
Yeah.
And so then the show ends, and you try to make it work, and you're like, we don't. All we have in common is that we do theater.
God damn it. Yeah. It reinforces that belief that I have that if you spend enough time with anyone, eventually you're going to grow attraction. And, you know, if your values are aligned enough, you're going to think you can pull off a relationship. So
Sure.
relationships are really bullshit. They're kind of, you can make it work with anyone if you have the core values down. But yeah.
With a stubbornness.
Yeah.
No, but I've seen so many times, and like, granted, I will say this, even when I was like kind of a hoe, I never tried to like, and I know you're gonna get irritated with me, like I never, I guess you could say I've had a couple showmances,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like showmance. Now let's make it work. It was like showmance,
Done.
and we're
Okay, bye.
show's over.
Yeah.
Oh, another show. We're doing another show together. Oh,
That's-
okay. Back on.
Sweet. Let's start.
But so there at least I was healthy in that regard. But I've seen it several occasions because it really is like if you meet, let's say you met your wife doing archery.
Yeah.
You met her at the range.
Archery, yeah, the old archery.
And so
range.
you start talking. You're shooting archery. You're showing her the how to the skill, the structure.
Yeah.
And you teach her. She hits her first bullseye under your watch. Great. And then you go to dinner together, and you can't think of anything else to talk about but archery.
Yeah.
This shit's not going to work. And I think that's what the showmances.
Yeah. Once the show's over, then what?
It's like, what do you like to do? I play video games. I like to snowboard. Oh, well,
fuck. You know.
if all you had was that show.
Yeah. So meet people at church. I don't know.
Well, no, like
But-
so the Cuckoo's Nest, that play. There was two people who met doing that play,
Mm.
and they ended up kind of starting to date during the play, and then afterwards they're married to like now.
Oh, nice.
So like
okay.
it worked, but like
Oh, yeah.
it wasn't like one got granted one was a tech and one was an actor, so
Right.
it wasn't like they were both crazy ass actors.
Yeah.
But so I've seen it work.
It's rare, but yeah.
But it's just one of those things you have to be honest about.
It's rare, like any relationship. How many
Yeah.
relationships that have end up getting married? It's rare, and it should be rare. So there you go.
But I mean, my point was like everyone jokes about the showmances, but as long as you do it right,
Yeah.
like if you do it right, like me,
Or right like me, and you just don't even.
or you just don't do it,
Just don't fuck with it.
but you just recognize, hey, babe, we had our time.
Say that was my thing. I always went in like, okay, you're gonna start feeling attraction. Just ignore it. Go. It's not real. And just move on. And then a month after the show, if you're still chatting and you're still
That's
keeping
what
the
I mean.
conversation,
Yeah, that's what I mean.
then go for it. But yeah.
I almost wanted to bring up the Midsummer Nights.
Oh God, yeah.
Not showmance, but
Very weird off stage acting.
we
Yeah,
we need to talk about that one day. Not now because Eddie's not here, and Eddie was a heavy part of that.
Yeah. That could be a whole subject. Is the method actors, quote unquote method actors.
Specifically talking about
Because there are method actors, and then there are actors that use the method.
We've mentioned
Yeah,
we've mentioned that
it's
before.
very different.
Was she a method actor?
I don't know. I don't think she ever at the
I thought
time.
she
I
was
don't
just
know.
nuts.
No, at the time she was just she there was this actress that liked to she brought the way she acted on stage off stage, and it just helped her get into character by doing that.
I didn't know that's how you interpret it.
That's how I interpret.
I thought
it.
she was just weird.
I mean, that could be
Both,
but,
that's-
but
But no, that's a whole other conversation.
yeah, a whole nether thing.
You beat me to it. So we'll close
What?
on this. I
Okay.
am actually self-conscious now.
Uh-oh.
The amount of times you've corrected me, but I've made a conscious effort when I say a whole other,
Oh yeah. Okay. Good. Good.
because I always say whole nother,
Yeah.
and then you're always like, "Fucking Mitch."
I said a whole nother on accident the other day. Full disclosure, I said it, and
Well-
my wife was in the car and heard me say it, and she flipped out. It was
Good.
her greatest day.
The world's balanced.
Yeah. I'm not perfect.
So especially when we're recording, like just now, I think I slowed down and I was like, a whole other.
Because I was ready.
Yeah, I was like, a whole other.
A whole nother thing. And even when you say it right, I'm going to say it wrong.
Yeah,
Just
'cause
to,
you
just
mocked
to
me
somehow
a moment
fuck
later.
with you. That's
Yeah.
what I do. Yeah, I'm sorry. I got to be better about that. I have a bad... My mom likes to blame it on my German heritage because Germans love to make sure you're doing it right. They
Yeah, there was
constantly
a big
correct.
correction they tried once.
It was a good solution.
The final solution.
No, but that was it's a habit I'm trying to break, so I'm sorry. But yeah, I constantly, if someone tries to quote a movie and they misquote it, I'll always correct them, and it turns people off.
I
So,
butcher movie quotes, but I appreciate movie quote correcting.
okay,
So I want to get it right.
because you're a writer,
Mhm.
you get it. You got to write that line.
Yeah.
Double meaning there.
Yeah, I got it.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah.
Us, yeah. So don't go to 76 Stations. Go somewhere else.
Don't go to 76 Stations and go into community theaters with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Or
It's a fun craft. If you've never done it, try it. It's fun.
I would say that too. Try it.
Yeah, give it a try. Like everything, give it the old Irishman's try. Is that a thing?
I was about to ask.
Is that a
Sure. Now it is.
Cool. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll see you next week or sooner. If not
Or
sooner,
sooner.
next week. If not sooner. Bye.
Bye.